Start from the beginning. How you met Dad.
Well, it was in the mid-70s. Me and my mother had been living in London, but after my father died, my mother decided to move back up to Leeds because her family, her brothers and sisters, were up in the north of England. So we had just moved up to Leeds, and at that time Granny and Grandad were just getting ready to move back over to Ireland, to Mayo. So the first time I met Dad was in Uncle Michael and Kathleen's house, and we just sat down in the sitting room there, and Dad came in with Noel, his cousin, and they had long hair like all guys did in them times, so long hair and unshaven, had a big heavy beard, well, just like the 5 o'clock shadow, and he had on a Crombie jacket and jeans, and we just sort of said hi to each other. So that was the first time we met up. And then not long after that, I was down again visiting, and Noel said he took us over to the Granny and Grandad's house. And so he was going to say goodbye to, like he called him Rick, your dad. So we were just chatting away in the house. Everything was packed up. We were getting ready to go. So we just had a few words, and I remember Dad he always had a guitar. He was strumming away on the guitar, and we were just talking briefly, and then remember something. We just stopped talking. Something happened. We just don't know. It's hard to explain. We just generally chatting about nothing in particular, and then it was just like a moment we both stopped talking, and I don't know, like sort of a funny atmosphere or something. Nothing happened at that point, but it was just, I don't know, an awareness of something. And then because Noel came back into the room. So that was that. So we said goodbye, I said, I'll see you, we'll see you. Might see you over in Ireland, bye to each other. And that was that. So that was the first meeting. And then I think I went over on holiday. We'd all go over in them times. It was a long summer. It was a lovely long summer, and was it summer of 76? It was a real hot summer, and so I went down to Ponty. We all met up. We were all down at the lake, and we were all. It was just one of them lovely long hot summers, and there was a dance hall there called the Pontoon Dance or Pontoon Bridge. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was kind of meant to be famous of its day, and we'd all. Everyone would go, because you'd go anywhere them times where there was a bit of music. There wasn't much entertainment, so we all piled into that, and we bumped into each other there, and we kind of bump into each other on and off in Ireland, not intentionally, but just bumped into each other, and I think we probably both liked each other, but we didn't say anything or do anything, but so that was kind of the first meetings Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So and eventually how we got together was I had moved back to Ireland and I was living over there. Dad at the time was living in England. He was working in Scunthorpe with his uncles, and it was a bit before Christmas, and I was coming up back here for Christmas from to my mother's house, and we got the news that sadly my mother died suddenly. She passed away in her sleep. So when I came over, there was a big shock, of course, and Dad had just he'd come to Uncle Michael and Kathleen's house as well, because he'd been working in Scunthorpe. So we all landed, we had to get through all that, and of course, the funeral and everything. And I remember Dad saying to me, which was nice, so there was nothing, the last thing in my mind was any romantic thoughts, because I was so shocked, that my mother had died suddenly. And Dad said to me, after, there's certain things you have to do when someone passes away. You have to go and get a death certificate and all this sort of thing. And I remember he was saying to me, would you like some company?
Mm.
Would you like me to come? And I said, thank you, I would, that would be nice. So really that was how we sort of started to connect, I suppose.
Yeah.
He was just supporting me through that, difficult time. And he knew my mother, he liked my mother. And my mother knew him. And she used to keep saying to me, do you know that Richard Conlon, he's very nice. This is when I come over, oh, he's a very nice lad. Oh, he's very nice. And we always said, we think it was my mother kind of brought us together.
Yeah.
So because, so that was sort of our first meetings.
Lovely, man.
Okay.